I've worked with $3 per hour VAs up until $2,000 per month editors. I've used these talents to run my operations in my video editing agency. I've had Fortune 500 companies, Hollywood producers, and 7-figure marketing teams as clients. In this video, I will share with you the 3 lessons I've learned when hiring and using remote talent. Let's dive into it. The first mistake is the mistake all marketing teams in the US will make when they first start hiring remote. The mistake I made was going for the cheapest option that I could possibly find. When you first start out, of course you want to save on cost. That's the whole point of hiring someone in Asia instead of someone in the US. So you find the cheapest option out there, and better yet, you find someone that can do a lot of roles that you want, right? You want to find a VA that can do your editing, do your design, do your copywriting, do your landing pages, everything. For $400 an hour. Now what happened with me and what's gonna happen to you is, yes, we save a lot of money, but what is money saved if there are no tangible results from us spending that $300 to $500 per month? Plus, you're gonna be dealing with a lot of employees or talent that have a really bad attitude. The truth of the matter is, if you only pay $500 to $600, $700 per month, you're competing with local companies for that talent services. And if you really want talent that's actually smart and has really good attitude, they won't have a shortage of options, either from local companies or international companies. Just because you are a company in the US doesn't mean you are the default option for that remote talent. A US company that's only willing to pay $300 to $600 per month will lose to a local company that's willing to pay them $800 to $1,000 per month. So, in conclusion, if you penny pinch, you're gonna get the bottom of the litter instead of the creme de la creme. And it doesn't even take much to get the creme de la creme. You only need to bump up that $400 to $500 per month number to $800 or $900 per month mark. Only a few $100 of difference every month, but the quality of people you're gonna get to run your actual business is 100% night and day. My actionable tip for you, whatever budget you thought you had or you are planning to spend on remote talent, just bump it up by $200 to $400 per month, and I guarantee you the quality of talent you're gonna hire is 100,000% better. The next mistake I made was a mistake that I wasn't consciously making. It's a norm that a lot of business owners have normalized when it comes to hiring remote talent. The mistake is looking for generalists instead of specialists. This links back to the first point of saving money. You try and hire people that can do a little bit of everything because you want to save money on a lot of roles and a lot of tasks. But again, the results won't do you any good. I'll give you an example. You hire someone to do your TikTok editing, to do your blog post, and to do your LinkedIn posts. Which do you think will perform better? The person that is in charge of all 3, or a person that is specifically categorizing themselves as LinkedIn content writers? The second type of person will 100% be better than the first person who's a generalist that can do a little bit of everything. Remember, when it comes to remote talent, you want to build a team of specialists instead of a team of jack of all trades. Again, generalists do the job for the sake of completing the job. Specialists do the job for the sake of actually getting results. I'll give you another example. If the last example was LinkedIn content writers, we also have video editors. Video editors will dive deeper into the current trends, the current styles, how to do retention editing, what Mr. Beast is doing, whereas a VA that can do editing, design, writing, blog posts, landing page, they probably won't have that same depth of knowledge. And so, of course, you'll post everywhere. You'll have the blog post up, you'll have the LinkedIn post up, you'll have the YouTube video up, but they won't get any results because they're not being put enough intention into compared to an editor that's solely focused on making your YouTube videos work. So the gist of it is, specialists are people that has actually honed their craft, and generalists probably watch 30 minutes to 1 hour of a tutorial on how to write a blog post and do that for every single role you want to assign them to. So my advice is to hire for specialists, build a team of specialists instead of hiring people that are generalists or jack of all trades. This will lead to a very efficient and effective remote team. The last biggest mistake I made has to do with something called trust. How much you can trust a remote worker to do the job without supervision is based on their level of salary. I've hired both $500 per month VA and a $2,000 per month editor, and here's the difference. The lower the salary, the more robotic they are and the more SOPs that they will need. Basically, they're SOPs merchants. The higher the salary, the less SOPs they would need because by default, they just have more critical thinking. Onboarding them, the lower the salary, the more hand-holding you would need to do and the longer the adjustment period will be. The higher the salary, the onboarding doesn't need to be that complicated and you don't have to wait too long for them to get adjusted. Training them. The lower the salary, the more training and the more people you need to get involved to make sure they're up to speed. The higher the salary, then the less people, the less supervision, and the less stuff that they need to learn from scratch for them to actually get up and running. Here's how you know how you can trust and rely on remote workers. If you know that their salary for their position is above 40% of their national wage average, and you know they've got experience working in that role before, then it's probably a sign that you pay them enough and they can be trusted without much supervision. How do you find the data for the national wage salary of a certain role? Pretty simple, just go to Glassdoor. Find the average median there, add 40% to that number, and then use that number in your LinkedIn job post when you're sourcing for talent. Boom, done. Conclusion, yes, you can use workers with lower salary, but the more hand-holding and the more training and the more supervising that you need to do. The higher the salary, the more experienced they are, then the less supervision that you would need to actually do for them. You would need to do less training, and you can kind of like trust them to execute on what you want without micromanaging them. So be sure to be wary about the salary number for your remote talent. Now you know my mistakes and how to avoid them. If you're looking to ditch the unreliable virtual assistants and start working with college graduates that only work for your company and want to grow inside your organization, then watch this video. If you enjoy this content, comment down below what other stuff you want to see when it comes to hiring remote talent, and please don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you.